hidden Mickey in the house. I'm leaving it. Yeah, I'm leaving it. It's in the kitchen. I accidentally made a hidden Mickey. Didn't even notice it. Haley noticed it. Subliminal hidden Mickey. Which, by the way, I think I need a stat for today. I gotta think of something here on the fly. Hey, welcome to Closing Beat. Happy Monday. How we doing out there? Hope you're having a good day. All is good with you there. Welcome to the Closing Beat, quick stock market update show that we do to cover the stock market. I need a better intro. I say that all the time. Hey, so we're going to cover the market. We'll talk about everything good and all the fun stuff happening today. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for coming by and watching here. We are financial advisors at Jazz Wealth, just doing our thing, just having a good time with it. We manage our own portfolios. We do things really differently, and I'm going to share some of that stuff with you. Actually, this Thursday, our Wine and Wealth class, which will be available to research members as well. So if you're not a client, but you're one of our research members, we're going to talk about exactly when and why to rebalance your accounts. Like statistically, what's the best way to go about it? I was working on all this all weekend. Should you do it when you drift away from your allocation? Should you do it on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, a quarterly basis, or whatever? I'm talking your 401ks and all these accounts. We're going to go through all those geeky details to show the difference of different accounts if you were to rebalance at different times or for different reasons to find the most optimum way to go about it. That's the kind of thing we like to do here, is that sort of value add, rather than just say, well, I feel like you should do this because everybody else says it. No, I want to know the stats. I want to know the numbers. So if you're familiar with us here, you know I get a little geeky sometimes. That'll be this Thursday, and again, it will be available to all research members. If you want to join our research site, jazzwealth.com/research. It's $13 if you're not a client. It is free if you are a client. Just all kinds of cool stuff in there. We're working on some different things to share with you there as well. So hope you will join us with that. Also, Cody's inviting people on the waiting list there. So if you're looking to join Jazz, move accounts, transfer accounts, or start something new, well, Cody's working to get you invited, and look forward to it. I appreciate the opportunity. All right, stock market here, just a slight update. So it's a good start to the week. Nobody's complaining about that. Actually finished Friday positive for a change. Usually when I'm not here, Fridays or the markets are lower. We had some news over the weekend that Janet Yellen, now the Treasury Secretary, former Fed President, got the G20 on board mostly with a 15% global minimum tax. No matter which country you happen to make those dollars in. Now, that's a little frustrating to me because over half of the companies on the list are based here in the U.S. So we've essentially agreed to tax U.S. companies even if they make profits overseas and report those profits, by the way. We're still going to tax them a minimum of 15%. So it's not a big deal for some of the bigger names, but that's just really going to hurt. It's going to hurt the smaller healthcare companies, in my opinion. Think about it. If you have a healthcare company and you're researching new drugs to make new pills and all this stuff, where are you going to do your R&D at? If you know you're going to get taxed 15% overseas, you're going to do your R&D here, and you're going to try to show the lowest possible profit here in the States, then go sell those prescription drugs and stuff overseas. I think it means some increased costs here for Americans. So I'm not sure why we're all excited about a global minimum tax. Although, people say, all right, you're avoiding tax and stuff. It's a couple percent difference there. So, yeah, we'll see. Anyways, let's go into, I might do a video on that to get more detail because that was kind of general. So we've got the S&P here led by banks today. So if you look at the S&P up to new record highs here, you're going to find that this week is earnings season. So if I just look real quick inside the financials, it was a good day for them. That's just excitement and the possibility that banks are going to do really well through earnings season here. I'll show you real quick. We're going to go through this list. I'll keep it for you throughout the week here, but here's the companies that are up for reporting earnings. Tomorrow, bank-wise, we're going to have Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and that is actually it. So just a handful of names to get us started. You also got ConAgra, Fastenal, and Pepsi, I believe. Yeah, there's Pepsi in there as well. Goldman Sachs has the best beat rate. So what you see on the screen here, ticker, name of the company, the date they report earnings, is it in the morning or the afternoon? There's only a few that report in the afternoon. How many quarters of data are we analyzing? So if they had less than 10, I think I just scrubbed it off the list. How often they beat on earnings, percentage-wise. how often they beat on revenue. Do they tend to offer guidance, whether up or down? What is the performance? I should have put a little space in here. What's the performance of the stock on average? Does it gap up or down? During the day, does it move up or down? What does it do on the day of earnings there? And what's the general range? Like, how volatile is a stock? So, for example, if I go down here, State Street ranks as the worst average gap, so it tends to gap down by about 0.75% there, and it also has the biggest range, and these are in dollars. So it tends to have a range, or it can have a really wide range, at least compared to all the other stocks on the list there. As for tomorrow, you're going to see Goldman Sachs be the big one reporting. I mentioned a second ago they have the best beat rates, 87 and 76% of the time. Also very limited range, so you'll notice the average gap, very little. The average day's performance, very little, slight to the downside there. The average full day move is basically nothing, and that's because they have the best beat rates. So we all kind of assume that there's going to beat earnings or be very, very, very close. And so that's what you have there. It's just more predictable. If it's more predictable, there's less reason to become emotional and make different trading decisions. This week, and we'll cover it again, but Wells Fargo reports would be Wednesday. They'll report in the morning there. They have the worst rate, man. And they went through some tough times, so these stats are skewed a little bit there with everything they went through, starting with that account sort of scandal that they have. But they have the worst beat rate. They also average a gap lower of about 0.25%. So if you wake up and you see Wells Fargo on Wednesday is down a little bit, you understand that's just kind of normal for the stock there. And BlackRock is in here somewhere right here. So BlackRock will report as well. Decent beat rates here, but if you look at BlackRock, it is the best of all of the large banks on a full day basis. So averaging about a 1% gain on earnings there. Beats Bank of America, beats JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, of course. Morgan Stanley is down here. They come in second place. And so just showing you some of the kind of details as far as earnings are concerned, because that's going to be the topic of the conversation here for the next couple of weeks anyways. If we're looking through the S&P 500, just a couple other things to point out. Albemarle, almost to new highs there. Very strong day for that one there. So a lot of those stocks really have been looking good and continue to look good. You got Tesla here. No real news other than Elon Musk just kind of trying to fight off that lawsuit against why he bought Solar City for all that money there. Limited Brands, they're actually going to, this is not new news, but they're going to make Victoria's Secret its own company. So Victoria's Secret's going away from Limited Brands. Limited Brands is going to change their name to Bath & Body Works, which is 54% of all their revenue anyways, and the most profitable area of their business there. So that's going to totally be spun off. Limited Brands' name will be changing, so you know what's going on. And also, Victoria's Secret, what's going away, the Victoria's Secret brand, and Pink, which is its own brand as well. So that sticks out a little bit, and that's probably all I got for that, actually. Let's move on. So the Dow held up today, largely thanks to Goldman Sachs and Disney. Goldman Sachs, obviously, the financial stock. What's going on? So Goldman Sachs has the earnings coming up. We already talked about that a little bit. Disney having a good day today. Apparently, that movie, Black Widow, did quite well. Over $80 million in the box office there. So things hopefully coming back to normal overall. Now, the Dow is in last place year to date, but this is a really, really tight race now. If you're looking at the Dow, it's in last place by less than 1%. So you got the Dow up about 14.3, the Nasdaq's next 15.4, Russell 15.9, and the S&P 16.7 there. So it's a very, very tight race, and it's been fun actually to kind of keep track of all this and see how the summertime's been treating us. Which brings me to guess the Dow. If you happen to have been playing along, let's check the leaderboard. Cody's got a winner, I think, to announce.
We got our winner from last week, Baron Armstrong, with a guess of 34,856.55. He is a client, which now brings it to 4 of our last 5 winners, I believe, have been clients. So nice. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. So congrats to him. If you want to play next week, you can go to jazzwealth.com/guess the Dow and get your guess in there. We got our leaders this week. Tanuja, Brent, Connie, and Helen. Those are our leaders this week. Remember, anyone that's on the board on Monday doesn't tend to be on the board Friday. Sorry, but that's just kind of the way it is.
You know what I like about that? Look at how tight those numbers are. 34.99, 34.95, 34.95.
It's going to be a great race this week.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you got one backwards there. It's so tight that one snuck in the middle there. See that?
Nope.
Brent should be in second place. You trying to rip off Brent, man?
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
You got something against Brent? Oh, that's cool, man. So if you want to play, it's just a fun little game we're playing, no strings attached. Seriously, you can have a good time with that. And I did mention Disney, so while he was talking, I was still paying attention, and that was me with the editing. You have to watch that. It was beautiful editing right there in real time. We do real time editing here. That's who we are. Disney fact, though, I was thinking of. You ever go on the Magic Kingdom? I don't know if I've told this one before, but you go to Magic Kingdom, go to the Haunted Mansion. It's getting an update here soon, but the Haunted Mansion, you go into the first room, and the ghost host with the most there starts talking, and apparently you're falling. The elevator's going down, or the room is stretching, right? So he goes through his spiel. I could repeat that by heart. Well, everybody is always trying to be the first to get out to go ride the ride. Next time you go, try to be the last to get out, and just pay close attention. Something that happens that you don't actually get to hear or see if you're the first out. So stand all the way back, be the last person to get out. The cast members will know what you're doing. They won't push you along, and enjoy. So hope you check that out. It'll be a good time. Hey, okay, so I'm not even going to tell you what it was. The Nasdaq still holding on to about a 15% gain year to date. Hey, I tell you what, today was Tesla. Biggest contributors to the Nasdaq today. Tesla and NVIDIA. Right, so NVIDIA had a good day, about 2.3% there. I want to point out a couple other things in the Nasdaq. Algen, very close to a breakout. Take a look up there, up near highs. And some of the semiconductor stocks. I know we've been talking about those lately. ASML, looking for breakout, and Applied Materials. A little bit of room still, but these are the stronger semiconductors. I think Lam Research. Oh, no, I typed it wrong. LRCX, there we go. Lam Research also moving back to highs as well. Semiconductors are getting some of that money. It's not sector rotation, but a little bit of that money is coming into semiconductors, and has been, so that's nothing new to you guys there. All right, sector breakdown here for the day. Real estate continues to be strong. Look at that, sitting at new highs, looking real smooth there. That's a pretty consistent rally. If you're looking in real estate, did a little extra work here for you. Some of the most overbought stocks. There are no oversold stocks in real estate, by the way. You got Mid-America, very extended here. So if you're in one of those, know that you're at the top of the list as far as being overextended there. Sorry. And then EXR, there we go, which is extra storage space, also extended. So a couple names here starting to show up a little bit on the list. Healthcare today. Take a look at healthcare. It's kind of a mixed day. It was initially higher, but performance across the board as far as all the stocks in the sector were a bit split, which is not a good thing there. Look at HCA. Hey, man. Look at HCA Hospitals there. This is one of the most overbought stocks in that sector. So what does that tell you? This is not extended. This is just getting things going. So it's telling you that most stocks are in this position. There are not a whole lot of really overbought stocks in healthcare. I would say maybe Bio-Rad is the other one that is getting there. So I want to point that out. A couple other things here. Consumer discretionary, XLY is what we use for that. One-third of the sector's performance over the last 1 month is due to one stock, Amazon. If you add in Tesla to that, now you have 2/3 of the performance of one sector, the XLY, or consumer discretionary, is due to just two stocks. If you look at communication services, half of the 1 month performance is just because of Facebook. If you add in Google, you almost have the entire 1 month's performance due to just those two names. So in other words, if you bought the sector minus those two stocks, you have no profit. If you only bought those two stocks, you have a great profit, right? So just two stocks making that much of a difference there. That is pretty impressive there. Hey, oil, by the way. You take a look at oil. Oil prices are going to be going back up again. Same with gas prices. Oil refuses to give up so far at these highs here. Michigan governor continues to fight with a Canadian pipeline company. I don't know why. I want to show you something here real quick. This now take your beliefs out of it, right? Take a look at this. So what I did real quick is I put total imports of oil. We do import oil, though less than we have in years past. It is not zero, despite what I keep seeing on TV where people say that during the Trump era, we actually didn't import any oil. We were self-reliant. I don't know where you get that. That's not the data. I mean, that's obviously exciting if that were the case, but that's not the case. So total imports gives you the average, or giving you the total monthly imports here in black from anywhere. All right, just not here in the States. Then we say orange would be non-OPEC nations, and we've got gray, OPEC nations plus Russia. It's called OPEC plus, but I didn't put it there. So you can see that we don't get a lot of oil from OPEC nations. We do get a lot of oil from non-OPEC nations. Well, who are these nations? Canada. Canada represents 49% of all crude oil that we import. Very important. They're the largest by far. So I don't know why we want to, get in a fight with them, but all of a sudden we're starting to import less here because we're now kind of fighting with some of those companies. Where is it coming from? Well, Russia's getting the boost there. So it looks as though we are moving a little bit to Russia and importing from them, which is a shame because it costs more. And don't we aren't we fighting right now? We don't like each other, at least so it says. In the media there. So anyways, you got Canada, 49%. The next biggest is Mexico, which makes sense. It's right there. But no, we gotta kind of fight this off here. Only 11% of our total orders come from OPEC producing nations. So last week when President Biden and the government in general is saying we're very pleased at how the OPEC conversations are going. Why? Who cares? Right? How's it going with Canada? We should be talking to them if we're going to continue to import oil in any meaningful way. So all that to be said, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, gas prices are not going down. There's just nothing in the system. And why would OPEC themselves say, we're going to increase production? No. They're killing it right now. They're sending more oil to us than they have been, or at least it's increasing. They get to charge a little bit more. So no, why? They'll just keep making the money that they're making. But nonetheless, you want to look at oil. It's clear uptrend here. Any pullbacks would be assumed to be viable by oil traders. Everybody is looking at this saying, if it just pulls back even a little bit, I'm in. So there you go. New highs and lows for the day. Now that I got you all fired up, there were 61 of them there. Albemarle is one of them. I think you should look in that sector as well if you're looking for new ideas. Estee Lauder, new breakout there. We happen to own it, so we're excited about that. You got BlackRock, careful. They have earnings coming up here. And remember the stats that we just showed a minute ago on their performance. So do you want to play with it right around earnings? I mean, we're all expecting things to be great here, but what if it's not as great? Not bad, but what if it's not as great as everybody expects? It's a tough place to buy that stock. AbbVie hitting new highs here as well. I wanted to put on the list an L3, which is now LHX. Possible breakout. Breakouts are really the favored pattern and have been for some time, at least through the summertime here. So something to take a look at. There were no new lows, by the way. All right, stocks in the news. You probably saw it. Richard Branson up to space. That was pretty cool. I'm kind of into flight and aviation and everything that has to do with that. But the company says, we sent Richard Branson to space. We're going to sell $500 million worth of shares because they need the money. They don't make any money. That's about what they've lost over the last 12 months. Is what's more like $700 million there. And the stock lower, as is typical with stocks that sell shares or announce really massive stock sales like they did there. Tencent Music, TME, well, and I would say all of the Chinese stocks really taking a hit. The Chinese government is very much forcing their hands. So this would be things like, if you look at Didi, still, even they're doing the best they can. They say, well, look, we're fine. We're agreeing to everything that China's asking us to do. Not cool, man. They're picking on them some more. So Tencent Music, if you look at that one, they want the company to now give up its rights to music labels. So more pressure by the Chinese government there. And TikTok was going to go public apparently, and the Chinese government said, we'd ask you nicely if you don't go public. And they decided not to. So, wow, what a world you could live in if you did. That's just how they do things over there. Not right or wrong, just what they want to do. Malibu Boats happens to be our best performer today. One of the stocks that we own here and have owned through the entire virus. Actually, Malibu Boats got a real positive article by Barron's, and everybody picked it up there. They said, and it's largely because this is not one of those names, right? It's not one of those names that you typically hear a lot about in headlines. So when people go, oh yeah, I can invest in something other than Bitcoin or Tesla, you go, oh my gosh, there's an opportunity here. Malibu Boats, Barron's basically says that this company is going to do really well, even if boat sales start to peak out, because they think that they're in a great position to do that. It's one of the only public companies that you can play that game with. So that's Malibu Boats. I probably don't need to mention Didi again, but that's the same Chinese thing. It's unfortunate there. It is hurting. They admitted that what is happening is hurting their total revenue overall, and probably will for some time. And Disney, we already talked about that one. Actually, JP Morgan upgraded Disney here today, and the Black Widow did really well, which is cool. So there you go. While the stream is catching up, what else do we have coming up here? Campbell Soup's paying out 37 cents. And that's pretty much it. It is going to be a busy week with earnings season starting up, so don't go anywhere. And if you're familiar, if you have one in your area, actually Cody just mentioned this a second ago, F45. You familiar with old F45? F45. They are going to be going public, selling 20 million shares, $15 to $17 a share. You think Orange Theory would be next then? They were. Yep. No, I would have thought Orange Theory as well. By the way, did you watch the fight? There were two things this weekend. There was obviously the fight, and then a soccer game. Everybody was asking me about the soccer game. I'm like, I don't know. I don't watch soccer.
It was actually a good game. I'm not much of a soccer guy, but I didn't have much going on, so I watched the game. It was a good game.
You watched the game and the fight.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Big sports weekend.
Okay. And who did you want to win, by the way, in the fight?
In the fight, I'm Conor McGregor, of course.
No, come on.
Of course, that was tough. That was a little sad, but
anyone with the name Dustin's got a favor. You guys got to.
Nah, I don't like that guy.
Had I been able to bet, I would have just had to bet just because of Dustin. I don't really know anything about either one of them.
That would have been a good bet.
But it was a good rivalry. I hear they're pretty mad at each other.
Yeah, still. Still.
You think they'll fight again? I can't. I can't do it. Nope. When I read the thing about that and they started showing the picture, I'm like, I just take your word for it. Nope. Not for me, man. Can't do it. Can't do it. Jack says, do you think it'd be wise to wait till the end of the week before taking positions on financials? So look at the, let's do over here and do it this way. Let's make a little bit more of a smarter comment, Dustin. All right, so take a look at the companies you're looking at. So when you mention JP Morgan, you only have to wait until tomorrow morning. You'll know before the market opens up. So it depends on the position you're taking. Throughout the week, we get less and less of the global, like large banks, and we get more into Schwab and T. Rowe Prices in here somewhere. Oh, I thought maybe they're next week. Schwab, Progressive, you can see it. So once we hit Morgan Stanley, you got U.S. Bank, right? That's in there. People's United, and we start getting into regional banks. So you don't have to wait till the end of the week. You'll largely be able to start getting to work, tomorrow afternoon, and unless you're going for like a Wells Fargo. So I don't think it's one where you have to wait till the end of the week. And if everything is as believed, then the stock performance is already baked in. So ideally, Goldman Sachs reports and they go, yeah, you analysts, you killed it. We are doing well, and the stock doesn't move. Wells Fargo, yeah, it's fine. We're doing well. We actually beat for a change. Maybe it doesn't fall, but all that pricing is already in there. So we'll see. We will see. You made money. I thought about you, or whoever it was, if that wasn't you, looking for Disney to get your bounce there one day, huh? Pretty little move if you're waiting on that one. Easily back over, and you still got a couple days to go. I like it. Do I use the 20, 50, 200 days? I do. Yeah, they're on there. So for me, green is always 20, blue is always 50, and red is always 200 day on there. Yep. I like it. You're looking for apps to make another run up there, huh? It's now or never, right? Because this is the major technical area that people like to look at. And not only that, you can see people are responding to it. So if you don't believe in the 200-day moving average, you still have to believe that people believe in the 200-day moving average. It has fallen down. It bounced before. People are already starting to get, why else would it bounce? Right there. So it's now or never. Doesn't matter what I think at this point. It looks like it is already trying. Hey, big tech seems to be hitting some resistance finally. Could be a rotation after earnings. Any thoughts? I'd love to see that. Really. I would love to see that. I don't really like when only a couple stocks move the index higher. I think it's misleading. There's nothing illegal about it or anything. It's not my thing, man. I like to see broad, consistent movement across the board with everybody pushing the markets higher. We own WWE? Yeah. Yeah, that is true. What's going on? All right. Alibaba. Well, Chinese stocks, I don't blame you, making you nervous. That I can't blame you for being a little bit nervous there, because you just don't know. We own a couple stocks that you're not allowed to trade. You're not allowed to transfer them. You're not allowed to move them. They're just stuck forever, thanks to Washington's executive order. And so you don't know. You don't want to see that happen to other stocks, and then you got some shares there, and well, what do I do? There's nothing you can do. Literally nothing you can do. Yeah. I love it. Okay, we're going to wrap it up there. Also, hey, remember, Wine and Wealth this week is going to be really, really good, really detailed. It's that fun stuff that I like to talk about where it's not my opinion. It is what we can actually show and prove. And if we can make that extra 0.5%, 1%, whatever it is, that adds a little bit more value to you, that's how I feel like I'm helping. And apparently, we're taking the house down. A little construction or something. Jeez. I'll wrap it up there. Have a good rest of your day. I've covered everything I want to cover, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back.